What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody?
You sound like you're whispering. Do we need to pull it a little closer?
No. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Reclaiming Our Identity.
You
We know
talking in
we
that
have
low new
been,
edition
we know
voice.
that we have been, it's been a minute since we have posted,
Oh
it's been
Lord.
a long minute since we have posted a video together. We have posted several videos of us individually. Um, Janine has done some shipping hacks and all kind of other stuff that
You been watching my stuff?
I guess people are interested in.
You guess?
Uh, but yeah, so we're back. We've been just kind of, you know, running to and fro.
So I think primarily the reason why it has been more convenient for us to film individually is because with the commute, taking the children to school and coming back home, and then picking the children up and coming back home, it puts
I'm
my husband on the road a lot. And when he's gone, some mornings I feel like, okay, I'll do a video before he gets back. That's been rare. I think mostly it's been done in the afternoon when he goes to pick the children up, and the house is quiet. I may have started cooking already or something. I'm just waiting, and I'll have an idea. So okay, I'll talk about that. In fact, I had two today, so I'll record those tomorrow because my collard greens needed some tender loving care. I didn't want to leave those on the stove. So yes, then that's when I have been doing them. Usually when he goes to pick the children up, and there is no one home, so there is no disturbance. And I think he has done a few like out on the porch or what have you while you're
yeah.
waiting for dinner to be finished or after eating dinner before he has to get online to teach classes or what have you. Um, so tonight, um, I said I grabbed him because I saw the opportunity. It's been a while since we've both really not been too tired to sit down together on an evening that he's available because he also teaches booked classes in the
So
evening.
so
So
we are back doing a live.
is that your way of saying I'm giving too much information?
I mean, just like, we've been gone. We're back now. So
People want to know. They're curious.
we're back now.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, so it's been. I'm going to do a video as well about the that one thing you need to think about before you decide to move to Rwanda. One thing you need
It's
to know.
just one?
I mean, it's a couple, but this one thing you need to know that you need to consider before coming to Rwanda. Maybe I'll do that video tomorrow. So you may have a couple videos coming out tomorrow. But so we are back on here, and what are we talking about today?
We're gonna,
Tonight?
well, I think you maybe dropped some nuggets or some hints or something. You put the walkthrough of the last house that we did on a YouTube video, correct?
I
Did you,
did.
did you say why we were walking through that house?
I said that we were looking to move, and so the title of this video is "Are we leaving Rwanda?" No, we're not leaving Rwanda, but we're leaving the house we're in.
I was gonna call it, I'ma cry, dot, 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 we're moving again, emoji.
So it has been, yeah. We when we got here, for those of you who've been watching us for a while, when we got here, it took us in our opinion, it took us a while to find a house, and so we were staying in Airbnbs, basically for the first 3 weeks. And you're talking about $300, $400 a week for an Airbnb. So that adds up. And so we ended up finding two houses that we were interested in. And the house that we kind of really wanted, when we decided we were going to go ahead and go with that house, the owner decided that they were going to, the price that they originally quoted us, they bumped it up $200. And so we chose not to go with that,
300.
with 300. We chose not to go with that particular house. And so our second choice was the house that we're in. And so we're in this house now. It's not a bad house, but over time, what we've realized, it's been a headache because of location, location, location. And when you have children who are in school on two different sides of town, that's one thing. And so it's been, the commute is not an easy commute. And then the road that our house is on, that we currently live in, it is a dirt road. It's not just a dirt road; it is a bad dirt road.
But
Yeah, so the actual, the hill right before the house is just really bad. And so it's that with the commute is just become unsustainable. And so we just have to, we wanted to find something closer to where one of the schools is located. And so we've been trying for the last, I guess, month and a half or so, trying to find the spot. And what's interesting is that, and we're going to do a video of that new house. We actually had to do a video of this house,
yeah, we do.
because we
I
haven't
was
done a
thinking
video
about
of
that.
this one. So we'll probably do that uh, tomorrow or Friday,
Yeah.
um, because we'll be moving soon.
Well,
But yeah, so I mean the and I don't know if we want to share, the new house, that information. When I say share, meaning the testimony, because it's really a testimony.
absolutely. We can share it when we share that house.
Okay, yeah. So when we do our first video in that house, we'll share the testimony about that house, because God really just, I mean, just showed out. God really showed out. You were going to add something.
Yes. So I'll tell you about. So his experience here has been one that has been frustrating, like you said, because of the distance that he has to drive every day and commuting to pick up the children. And I don't know if you've talked about driving around Kigali. In addition to the
I'll talk about
distance,
that. I'll
there's
talk about
the
that.
frustration
I'll talk about that.
of just
I'll talk
driving
about
in
that
Kigali.
in another video.
Okay, so
Shalom, Sister Lady J. Thank you for viewing.
and so, but for me, because I don't have to deal with the frustration of driving and driving long distances, well, not long distance, being in the car for such a long period of time, I have, I don't know if I've become I probably could say I've become, yes, I'm going to be honest with my feelings and say I have become too attached to this house and this area. And so I say that because today I had an experience. Now, I have told my husband all along, when he expresses how much of a sense of urgency he was beginning to have about, I feel like a sense of urgency about finding somewhere else to stay. I would say, well, but the house itself is really nice. I like the neighborhood. I like the area. I like the walkability. I like the access to certain things that we have access to. And it would surprise you that I'm not talking about nice hotels and nice restaurants and boutiques and bistros and cafes, like, when you hear walkability in LA or in New York. I'm not talking about that. So let me tell you guys, and this is my first time sharing this with my husband today. I went for a walk. I hadn't gone for a walk in quite some time. It's rainy season, so it'll rain off and on, and it may interrupt my schedule. When it rains, it might not be convenient for the time that I'm available to walk. So I haven't walked in several days, and you all know I have been dealing with a cough and a lot of chest congestion. Today I said, I'm going to go for my walk. I need the exercise, and I know I need to inhale the air in my lungs as I'm starting to get better and really expand my lungs and do what they need to do. So I'm going for my walk today, no matter what. And I did. And do you know, I almost cried. I I am a sensitive soul. Oh, you're walking now. I love that you're watching us while you walk. I love that you're watching us while you walk. That is so nice. That's commitment. That means we're like your family. See, and that's why I tell these stories, honey. He thinks I'm Queen TMI. He thinks I'm Queen TMI. But I'm telling you, the people want to know this stuff because this is the real. See. Anyway, so I was walking down our street. So I go up the rocky incline that goes out of our house, like my husband said, and I take my normal left and I'm walking down the street. And my plan was to get a few vegetables at one of the little street side markets. There are a couple of them down the street. And grab that on my way back. And there were little children playing. The most adorable little boy was sitting and eating some corn because they grow corn wherever there is available land. If there's a plot of land and somebody hasn't built a house or started building a building on it, the community people will plant corn and cabbage or whatever. They're gonna eat. They're not gonna starve, and they're using that for income. You see that with the baskets on the head of food that I see them outside our bathroom window. Sometimes they're coming to pick the corn from the plot of land next to my house. So those things have endeared me to this area. I've got my little fabric lady spot where I can get beautiful African fabric for a lot less expensive than in Kimironko Market. Like I said, my little vegetable place. I can hop on a moto. I know exactly how much it costs to get to my next spot.
African
Hi, African
queen in
Queen.
the house,
That's
in the
that's the fan. That's
house.
the number one fan right there. And I'm seeing, like I said, I've seen the little boy. I'm
Fresh
individuals
vegetables.
standing. Yes, right there. And there are several little stalls along the way. There's also a market under a business complex. You go down into like the garage to park, and there are several booths of women selling fresh vegetables, which we stopped by today. And we're moving out of that area. We will be removing ourselves from that and the access to that. And it's so where we live is kind of like you would say the suburbs. It's outside of the
It
city.
is a suburb of Kigali. It is considered a suburb.
It is. It's outside of the city, but it's not in the village, and it's not out up country the way which is what they say. So it's a little bit in between urban and suburban life, right? And I, you know, we've moved around a lot in ministry, and I try to make sure that I don't whine and bemoan so much what I left, but I appreciate and value what I have and where I am and be present in that moment. Get to know people and connect with my environment. And I have done that here. And like I said, I have my go to places for various things, and I know how much they'll charge, and I chit chat with the people. And I am really gonna miss that. And I noticed I was literally holding back tears as I was walking back to the house. Like, it's gonna be gone. I'm out here looking at this scenery, taking in the fresh air, listening to the laughter of the little children running around. Because where we're moving is more urban. It's in the city. It's closer in, well, it's not in town, but it's in the city. In another district, which is a suburb of Kigali, but it's much closer to the city center than where we are right now. And it's an area where a lot of expats move because it's close to a lot of hotels, nice restaurants, lots of shops and boutiques and retail spaces and bookstores and the things that most Americans and Westerners want to have access to, where they can just go. You're staying right there
Yeah,
on
so
the
we're
part. We are staying in Rwanda. We're moving from our current district
house to
sector.
another house.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I guess I should have just said it that way. And I'm really gonna miss it. I actually plan to get on a motor and come back out here sometimes to go to my little go-to places because.
Because
Have you
what?
guys met African Investment Guide?
So we have not, Ty Nichols, we have not met him. So actually when we came here the first time to visit in March, I reached out to him to try to figure out to try to connect with him about looking at some houses while we were here. But he was busy at the time because he has a going on, being a realtor and everything. So we have not had an opportunity to reach to connect with him.
Yeah.
But as far as our children going to different schools, they will, not now, they're not going to any different schools. And the reason why we are moving is because of the schools that they're going to. And so
You mean
the,
the big, okay.
because the
The
schools that they
location.
right, the location where they currently go. Our girls, my wife has shared in a previous video, our girls go to a school called Path to Success in Ribeiro. And I think we've talked, about, the experience there. And so the children, our girls will not be going there next year. And so, Lord willing, they will be going to another school that is closer to where we're moving. And also, so where our son goes to school, where Cohen goes to school, is literally, it's 5 minutes away from where we're moving. And if we can get our girls into this other school next year, then it will be maybe 10, 15 minutes at most away. And so this new place is just so much more convenient.
Much more convenient.
More convenient.
Yeah.
So
So
yeah, so
that
they'll
takes
still
down
be.
the frustration and the stress level and the cost of gas,
Yeah.
fuel. When you're doing all that, either you're sitting in traffic or you're on the road long periods of time, and eats up the fuel. But I was saying that there are places, if you're looking to move to Kigali, if you're looking to move to Rwanda, thank you for being happy for us.
Thank you.
You will notice that when you look on YouTube, watch the videos for moving, or you Google where do expats live in Kigali, or where should I move to, or where should I look for houses. A lot of times, what's gonna pop up is Nairotarama, Gachuriro,
Chibagabaga.
Kibagabaga, so because there are some more what are considered upscale parts of town, and that's not important to me. I value community. Um, I'm not really a small town girl because I'm from Atlanta, but I am from the suburbs of Atlanta. But because my parents are just very personable people, and I'm a friendly person. I like that small town feel. That's probably the Southern girl in me, and I get that here. I get that where I feel like, it's almost like a village life to a small extent, because there are some mud huts and some village housing type setups right around where we are, and I'm cool with that. I feel like I came to I'm in Africa. I want to be immerse myself in the culture and the environment, and not create for myself a little America in Africa. I'm not here for that. So the environment that I'm in here in this area,
No.
no, makes me feel like I'm in the mix with the people, like the real people, not surrounded by a whole lot of expats who might just be here working temporary jobs, or on temporary assignment, and then they're leaving. I like the community of native village people and suburban people out here where we are. And so I'm gonna miss those interactions in that type of environment. I remember I was walking one day, and I heard laughing, and then bam, slam. They were playing cards. It was about 5 o'clock. People were getting off work, 5 or 6, sitting out drinking a Fanta, out on the not porches, but on the sidewalk. They just pull out chairs out in front of their stores or whatever, and just chill and hang out and talk to each other. And you hearing Afro beats in the air. Love me some Afro beats.
So
I like that vibe. I'm gonna miss it.
So I have no problem with any of that. But the issue is,
Yeah, you
Yeah.
don't see people
Yeah.
just sitting out socializing in the nice warm fresh air, children running around laughing. You might see it in the South.
the
People on
issue
the porches,
is the issue is the commute. The issue is the commute. There is, the where we are, as my wife said,
Queen's family is from Georgia.
we have. There are a lot of. We know this area. We're familiar with this area. and a lot of the things that we need. We've been able to find in this area. We know where to get our fruits and vegetables, where to go to the grocery store. All these different places. So we kind of know in the area that we're moving to, and also it's a good place to walk where we are now. Because I walk every morning before the kids
Change of schedule
change of
for
schedule.
school.
But it's a good spot to walk in. And so where we're going now is not. I mean, you can walk after you get up to the main street, but the reality is that because it's in a more upscale neighborhood, the area is Gachuriro, which is like she said. You have. I mean, it's a expats and just
Government
people
officials,
with money.
professionals.
Now, to be clear, we have no money.
That's the
So
testimony
that's
that's
the
loading.
testimony,
Yeah,
right?
I'll
That's
get
we'll
that.
we'll share that in the video when we move.
No, we have no money, but we don't have a lot of it.
Right. So we have no money. I mean, compared to some of the other folk, that are living there. So we don't want anybody to think that the West are moving on up to the East side.
Yep.
You know.
I want you to be around the locals, learn the language, go to the local markets. Exactly.
Now
And that's
the
what we're doing. I learned
the thing
in
is,
Rwanda. I'm learning.
understand this. You still, even being here in Kigali, you still will go to the local markets. So don't misunderstand that. I mean, we still will be going to the local markets because there's not a except for like
Chic.
I mean, no, I'm saying the markets like the Sawa City and Simba. Those aren't.
The supermarkets.
Those are. I mean, everybody. Like, no, everybody didn't go to Kimironko. Because some people avoid Kimironko market because they just think it's just too hectic. And depending on your experience with that, it may be too hectic. But we when you go to local markets, that's where you find the deals.
You're going to save your money. And you'll find in the supermarkets, they don't have a large selection of produce because so many people go to the market. Or
Right.
if not the market, like I'm saying, the mom and pop stalls along the roadway all over the city. There's some stand or somewhere, or some little open little space where people are selling fresh produce. You won't even really find much of it. You'll find a few options, few selections in the grocery store like supermarkets, but those areas are very, very small. The supermarkets for the most part sell small kitchen appliances and your non-perishable food items and prepackaged and processed things. And a lot of them will have a butchery and a bakery inside for your bread and your meat. But when it comes to produce, when you're getting your fruits and vegetables,
You going to the market.
you're gonna go to the market.
You're gonna go to the market.
Or a market.
Yeah, so we'll still be able to go to those places. It won't be as convenient because now when I come home, I mean, I have a spot that I stop at, on a regular basis.
On the way, a
on the
couple
way
of stops,
home.
boom, boom, boom. Like my husband
Yeah.
said, he knows where he'd go for kale and for lettuce, and that's a different place for the potatoes and the tomatoes and the cucumbers, which might be a different place for the pineapples but they are en route
All in
home.
the
You don't
same,
have to
yeah.
turn off the street. It literally is on the way home, on the exact same route without having to detour and go out of your way. So I mean, that's a nice convenience.
Yeah. So we're going to be, as of right now, we're going to be giving that up until we find, the other spots that are in that area, which I think is probably going to be hard to find because because of the area that it's in.
The area that it's in is more saturated, like I said, with restaurants and hotels and offices, like the UN office and business places and retail spots like cell phone, cellular networks and radio stations, things like that are more so in the area where we're going. Whereas out here, they need to cater to the people. The people, it's more homes and residences out here. So there
And not
are
as much,
shops
not as much money as well,
Which-
which means that things are going to be cheaper
out here.
out here.
Yeah, they're a lot less. That's what I'm warning. They're a lot less expensive out here. The village,
Yeah.
I call them the village prices.
Yeah, I mean it's I mean it's what yeah, it's gonna be different, but it's gonna save a lot of headache. It's gonna save a lot of headache. So, yeah, so we like I said, we are not leaving Rwanda. For those who are coming on, uh, we are leaving where we are currently living, and it is we decided we are going to be moving in the next couple days. Next couple
Soon,
days,
soon, soon,
soon.
soon. Not
So
even 7 days away.
right, literally a couple days away, and so we'll do a video of that. I'm trying to think anything else we have to share um, in this video because we're going to do a couple videos. I'm going to do a video on what you need, the one thing you need to consider. Yes, the children are excited.
Yeah, they are.
They are looking forward to it.
I'm sure that, but whenever they come home, they are starving. They're so hungry because they eat lunch at 1, 12:31, something like that. And then they have a snack at the end of the day, like a fruit or something like that. By the time they get home, they are starving. They're tired of having been in the car after a long school day, after they had to be in the car for so long in the morning. So yeah, they are looking forward to not having that long commute as well, and they like the area. So
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
they're excited. So what we definitely will do between by Friday probably, which is in 2 days, is walk through the house and do a virtual tour. I think we've told you before that we pay $600 US dollars or 600,000 Rwandan francs for the house that we're in. It's a 4 bedroom, 3 bath, so you can see what you could get for that amount here. And the landlord
Now,
is keeping the rent the same even after we leave.
let's pause on that one because this is the one thing you have to understand for those who may be leaving maybe considering moving to Rwanda. Rwanda is starting to become expensive. And what I mean is when it comes to housing, housing is starting to become more expensive. So you can get housing cheap here. You can get housing cheap depending on how many people you're coming with, how many rooms you need, bedrooms you need. You can get cheap housing. Uh, but when you start to get into, depending on the area that you want to live in, the size of the house, and when we say the size of the house, meaning because we got our furniture custom made, especially with our daughters. They have beds that are custom made, and so they have. I mean, and even ours. Well, everything was custom made. Yes, things better please share on.
Online job.
So the thing is, you have to keep that in mind, and so you can find a house, a brand new house. Like for instance, in this area that we're in now in Kagarama, uh, for 400, $500. But the problem is the size of the rooms.
And the roads, whether or not the roads are paved. Yes,
Exactly.
if they call it a good road or a tarmac road, that landlords are going to use that to their advantage and charge more.
Yes, so you have to think about that as well. But and as we've been looking at houses, I've been realizing that some of the houses that in of course in certain areas they're more expensive. Now, when we say more expensive, it's relative because it's more expensive here, but it's still pennies compared to what you would make in the States. Excuse me, what you would pay in the States. Because this same house that we're paying $600 for here in the States is, I mean, it's easily, depending on where you live,
Go girl, walk your 3 miles.
you're talking about, close to $2,000, depending on where you live. And so it's really relative. But compared to where we are, being in Rwanda, $600 is pretty good for rent. But then you're also going to, depending on the area, that rent is going to go up.
Yes. So as it was mentioned, if you're on a paved road that's in an area that's already full of developed, so you might not have to worry about water pressure issues. You may not have to worry about power outage issues. If you're in somewhere that is has close access to the malls and the convention center, um, businesses and commerce or what have you, closer into town, I will just say, and especially on a paved road, it's
And
going to
really,
cost
just
more because I found.
it's really in certain areas. You know what I'm saying?
Because you're saying even in areas closer to town that are on paved roads, you can find inexpensive houses. Is that what you're
No,
saying?
what I'm saying is, automatically there are certain areas of town where you know it's going to be hard. So, for instance,
What's going to be
it's
hard?
going to be harder to find a house depending on what your budget is. So, for instance, when I say trying to find a house, what I'm saying is this: if you're going to, it's two of us. I mean, if it's just two
Start
of
with an
you,
Airbnb into a.
if it's just two of you, I mean, you're in. I mean,
I don't know. I would look. Let's
no,
not presume.
no, what we're saying is, if it's just two of you, if it and if it's you and your husband, you and your spouse, or you and a child, you're talking about a one, maybe a two-bedroom house, two-bedroom apartment, or whatever you look for. I mean, that is easy. Now that doesn't mean that you don't have to do your due diligence and look, but being able to find something that is reasonably priced here, for a two-bedroom, I mean, it's going to be pretty easy.
Can I give my caveat? I think it's easier if it's two people than, yeah.
Yes, that is true.
It is
That's
easier if it's just two people than if it is a family, because of course we're looking for more bedrooms and more space, right?
Which
of
costs
course,
more
which
money.
costs more money. So that is definitely a factor. However, I met a single woman. It was just her. She wanted a 4-bedroom, 4-bath house, so that if she had company and she just needed the space and she worked remote, she worked from home. So if she was going to be home all day, she wanted to have the convenience and the openness of lots of space. So it just depends on what your standard of living is. If you want brand new house or updated modern remodeled home, that plays into it.
But still, it's still, even if, I mean, yes, it plays into it here just like it would play in the States.
I'm
But what
just
I'm
saying
saying
that to
is,
say, don't automatically say or assume that, okay, let me just get an Airbnb because we'll find something. It'll be easy. My recommendation, as I
no,
have
no, no,
made
no, I'm not
previously,
saying
is
that.
if you can rent an apartment for a month and you're coming and you're looking for housing, I highly recommend
Yeah,
you
that would
get
be that
an
would be the
apartment
best
for a
thing.
month. That way you're not under pressure. You have an entire month to find exactly what you want in your budget, where you want it, with all of your must-haves and none of your non-negotiables. So give yourself the time, even though it might be easy. If you can do a month-long rental, and there are plenty of them available,
When I
especially for
say
apartments.
easy,
Like even in Vision City, you can get a 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom apartment
right, when I say
or an
easy, I'm
Airbnb.
talking about meaning financially.
Yeah,
That's what I'm talking
inflation
about.
is absolutely crazy.
Yeah, 1,200,
One thousand seven hundred
$1,300 to
dollars a month.
1,700.
Hello,
Yes,
family. How are
and so
you? What's up, Robbie? How are you,
it
Josh?
is
Well,
it
Tanya.
is it is a situation where, like if you come in with just two people, then you and your husband, I mean, you guys are not going to have a problem finding something. I do agree with my wife in that, it's cheaper. It's going to be cheaper for you to get an Airbnb in a, I mean,
Get a
excuse me, not
rental.
an,
Get a month
but a
long rental.
month long rental. Rent that for a month. And the thing is, you can find a lot of places that are fully furnished.
Lot.
So you get it fully furnished. You stay there for a month. That gives you plenty of time to go in, to look around and find a place. But what I'm saying is, financially, you'll be able to find a nice place in a good neighborhood, for two people. Yeah.
I want to address a couple of comments that I saw that my husband was talking in the midst of them coming up. Someone said that they look forward to coming, but they just don't want to leave their adult children and grandchildren. And I completely understand that. Today is my mommy's birthday. It's my mommy's birthday. And I called her, of course. I set my alarm. I couldn't wait. I called her at 8 o'clock their time in Atlanta. And she was still in the bed sleeping, so I got to be the first one to wish her a happy birthday. And she said, "You know what would be such a great gift if I could see you and hug you today, Janine." Oh,
They
so
can always come visit you. That is correct.
uh it's not $2 to just come and visit. And my mother is terribly afraid of flying over the ocean because she cannot swim. She gets anxiety, so it's difficult, but she does plan to come visit. And my parents are up in age. They are well over 65, well over 70, I'll even say. So um it's more of a challenge for my parents, but I want to just convey the understanding. Yeah, it's possible. You do what you want to do, you know? Yeah. I just want to convey and reach out to, or empathize with our viewer who said that they want to come, but it's difficult to detach from her children and her, especially your grandchildren. Because my mom tells my daughters whenever she talks to them on the phone, "I think about you all of the time, you guys. I think about you all the time, and when I'm gonna see you again." Verbatim, she says that every single time. So that is understandable. And then there was another comment about inflation. And yes, inflation is impacting the globe, everyone. Even here, they say how much things have gone up, how quickly within the last year. Like even the cost of buying land, they said has drastically increased. The cost of groceries, just like anywhere else, have gone up. So inflation is affecting every global economy, every economy.
I think it's affecting everywhere. It's not affecting Rwanda. I don't think the way it is affecting, let's say, America. But I
Oh,
do
yeah.
think that just, I go back to what I was saying, housing is going up, land is going up. And so if you are, you not an American driver's license, you need to get an international driver's license. And so you can go online. I can't remember who I use, but you can
Is your
go
phone over there?
online. No,
Oh,
my
we're
phone is.
recording on the phone. Hand me
You
the
can go
computer.
online.
I'll look
You
at.
can get an international driver's license.
And
It's
I
not
just got one
expensive.
recently. They had a promotion in, was it December that you sent that to me, honey? I think
I don't
a
remember.
promotion where the cost of the international driver's license from this particular website was $60 for a 3-year permit. And I'm gonna look for it now, and if I find it, I will let you guys know the name of the company where you can go online. You put in your local driver's license information and verify your identity, and you can just pay for it online, and they'll send you a digital copy. In fact, I'm supposed to be having one sent in the mail. I put my parents' address, and it'll come to them, so that you can have a little booklet for your car and a digital. My husband, whenever he is asked, you got to talk about that. The police
Yeah.
stops. Oh my goodness, you
I
need to
mean,
definitely
yeah,
talk about
we'll
that.
we'll talk about that
He
in
just
a
shows it
little
on
bit.
his phone, the digital image. Okay, let me
Yeah,
find
so
it.
you can get an international driver's license and allow you to be able to drive here in Rwanda. So that's not a problem. Um, but yeah, just that inflation is taking place all over the world. Here, I don't know. Maybe it's just because I mean the prices are just drastically different
You
here than
mean
they
low? The
are.
cost of living
Right, the
is just
cost of
lower.
living is so much lower here than it is there. Uh, it doesn't seem to impact. Now, gas is expensive here. Here, it is $1.58 per liter, and it's about 3 liters to a gallon. So gas right now here is about it would be equivalent to like almost $5, about 460, 470 a gallon. And so imagine putting that in your gas tank. For those of you all who are watching from the States, you're putting that in when you were putting that in the gas tank, because I think I heard that the gas kind of went down.
Oh, well, yeah, I was just gonna ask, what's the cost of gas now? This is
Yeah,
lower.
somebody put in the
Like, where is it? Africa.
in the comments the price of gas right now,
Tell us how much
because
y'all paying to drive.
I think it's like I think I saw somebody on Facebook mentioning like $3 a gallon or something like that.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
it was close to 6 when we left.
Um, but the wonderful thing here is that it may be a good thing or a bad thing, depending on your point of view. But no more gas for us. We have electric car, but we do still have one gas truck. Yes. But so what happens is all of the gas stations gas is the exact same price. And so
It's
it's
no
regulated.
competition.
There's no competition. And so it's regulated by the government. So, you don't have one
Gouging.
gas station, exactly, price gouging, one gas station charging you. So you said 370 here in Maryland.
Oh man, I wish.
Yes. So you don't
That's
have the price
that's good.
gouging and all of that other stuff, but it is expensive when it comes to gas. Uh, as I was mentioning in Rwanda, here in Rwanda, it is 100, it's 158 per liter, and so it takes about 3 liters for a gallon. So you're talking about $4 and what 76 cents, something like that. Um, you know,
The name of the website is International Driving Permit. Or
international driver permit. So yeah,
International
that's the gas here.
internationaldrivingpermit.org.
Yeah. So, but you can other than that, it's if you're coming here and you have number one, if you're retired, you're bringing in a decent retirement check every month, you're going to be fine, especially if it's just you and another person. If you have some kind of online job, um, then you're going to be fine as well. It is not, to be honest, it is very, very inexpensive to live here. Very inexpensive. If you have children, that's when, of course, it's going to go up because, especially if you're putting your children in international school. But monthly, your monthly bills, I mean, just to be honest, I mean, your monthly bills, you're talking about, depending on where you live, how much, of course, you got your transportation, but depending on where you live, and if you're talking about one person, two people, three people, you're talking about, depending on where you live, $600-700 a month for gas, excuse me, for your, uh, yes, for, make sure you have a VPN for your remote job. That is correct.
Yeah, make sure you get it established before you come.
You have to get, exactly.
Because otherwise, the VPN is going to connect you to African or European networks, most probably African.
Right. So make sure you get your VPN before you leave the States. Before you leave the States,
I
get a
forgot, you
VPN.
all. I forgot. And I was literally, and I remember right before we were about to board our flight, and I'm on the computer while people are lining up, and I knew I had some time, but I'm on there getting the payment on there so that it could register everything while I was in a U.S. ISP. Is that what it's called? Whatever.
ISP, yeah.
Yeah. At the airport, making sure. I said, "Oh, babe, I forgot to get my VPN." Did it at the airport because I wanted to make sure I had it. We even need VPN if we don't have a remote job.
I
You
mean,
don't need to, but if you want to access YouTube, no, Netflix,
Netflix and all that
Hulu,
other stuff, you need
if you have
should
Disney
have a
Plus,
VPN.
things like that, yes, you will need to have a VPN to visit American websites. Otherwise, it'll block the website and you won't be able to log into it. You won't be able to. I know there was some conversation about on the Blacks Pat WhatsApp group about people who did not have one and they couldn't get on Hulu
347 in Georgia.
or gas.
Yeah, you should have a VPN, period. Whether or not you're going to have a remote job or, if you're coming here and you're going to be retired, you should have a VPN. I have a VPN on my
Privacy.
phone. I have a VPN as well on my computer, because I want to make sure that, of course, privacy, but also, just to make sure that I can access what I need to access, because I still have an American bank account. And so, these kinds of things you need to make sure that you still have access to, because when you come over here, that stuff is going to be limited if you don't have a VPN. It makes it so much harder, especially. Oh, another thing, um, this kind of you need to have a Google Voice number. Um,
Who
you
tells you that?
you need to have a Google Voice number, because what happens is if you come here and you don't have that, because I don't have my
Yeah.
my number from the
Your SIM
U.S.
card has been
Cause my
removed.
SIM card, I took my SIM card out because I put a Rwandan SIM card in, and so the only way you can contact me here is on WhatsApp. Google Voice number, yes. If you go online, just Type in Google. I
Go
mean,
to Google
go to Google Voice. Just type in
and
Google
type in Google
Voice.
Voice, and you can set up an account, and it'll assign you a number, or you can choose a number. I think.
Yeah,
Well,
you can choose a number.
yeah, and make you set up that account. You can access it on your computer, because a lot of times my husband will just plug in
Yeah.
his headphones and he'll make phone calls on the computer. You can also make it from the Google Voice
App
interface on
on
the
your
app on
phone.
your phone.
It's like
Africa
it
Queen
costs or
also
something like that.
mentioned, do you? I think after a certain number of calls or voicemails, there's an additional cost to it, but definitely it's free. So get a Google Voice number for your business in the U.S. and for other friends,
And just
to
making
have
calls.
in addition to your regular number.
Yes,
But
Google Voice number is free.
it is free.
Yes.
Yes, it is free. Um, let's see. And it was you also asked African Queen if you need a VPN on the phone as well. Yes, because you're gonna go on, if you have an Apple device, you're gonna go on Safari, or you're gonna go on Google or Chrome on your smartphone, and anytime you go on the internet, you need to protect yourself from cyber hacking and your financial information being exchanged, because now you're international and there are people trying to steal your stuff all over the place. But there are a lot of scammers out there, and you want to keep your your internet information secure and guarded. So a VPN helps to do that. And when you get one, so my husband can tell you the name of his company, but mine is called Private Internet Access, PIA.com. You can go on there. I found it very inexpensive. I believe I got my own IP address. I have 2 years worth of VPN coverage or access, however you want to say it, and a cyber security extra service or something like that for $110 or something like that. So private internet access, and then when you purchase it, they send you the codes for that account.
Surfshark. Surfshark. To make
Surfshark
it
is the name of yours.
Surfshark is the name of mine. To
Yeah,
make
I've
it
seen
real
that one
easy.
too. But you don't have to buy different ones for your phone. So once you
Just buy
purchase
one.
one, it will give you access to download it to several of your other devices. So you can put it on
Yes.
your iPad. I have it on 2 computers and my phone.
And the thing is this, you want it on your phone because you have apps on your phone that you want to make sure you have access to while you are here. So even if private international access, is this?
PIA,
She said PIA,
private internet.
private internet access. She said, but
Let me
also
see.
I have Surfshark, and which is really easy. So you can try that as well. Surfshark. You have Nord VPN as
Nord,
well.
yeah, that's very common. So what I did was Google the most secure or most popular VPNs, and Google brought up a list, and I just checked the prices on all of them to compare what kind of service I got for the value. What are all the different things I'm going to get? You can do a side by side comparison, and it'll check off the different attributes and what you're going to get. But there's another question about
About
talk about
some
healthcare.
healthcare. So we'll do
Okay,
another video for that one in regards to healthcare. But the healthcare system here, we have not had any,
Major.
any major issues to make it, just give you at least a little piece of information on the healthcare system. We've had to take our children
A clinic.
to a clinic. Had no problems with that. It was very inexpensive. As a matter of fact, I think we did a video on that.
I talked about it, just a snippet, because I know that people were interested in it. So some of our new friends here who are Rwandan and have lived here many years recommended this particular place for us. They told us that it would be efficient, that it would be clean, it would be professional, and that they would speak English, and that our needs would be able to be met. It's called Deva Clinic, DEVA. It is in Chibagabaga or
No, it's
Kibagabaga, right?
in
Or is it in Nyarutarama?
Nyarutarama.
Okay. DEVA, and the first sign of something in the house was, I think Kelsey had an upset stomach, and of course my thought was, oh, she's been eating the food, her body's not used to it, she might have a parasite, let's go get her tested of that or malaria. So I took her to get her tested. It opened at 8. I went online to find out their operation hours. The website is great. It is current, is up to date, is it's what it should be. And I was able to see.
it was a good experience because you can already go
Okay.
into TMI. We want to do another video,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
so you want to share all the
Well, I was just
specifics
gonna
here.
say she was seen easily without any issue, taken back very quickly,
And it was what, like $2?
no, it wasn't two.
How much was it?
The first visit, because she got the test, was it was $24, I think.
Okay. So, well, I mean, $24. That's not.
So we don't have insurance because the cost of healthcare, because we're healthy and we don't have any pre-existing conditions or any major diseases or anything like that. We don't carry insurance. We just make sure that we got money in savings in case we need to spend a little bit more. But it's so inexpensive
It's so
out of pocket.
inexpensive.
Out of pocket. The lab, one of the labs was,
That's what was $2.
Yes, that was
Yeah.
to draw blood and do a complete blood count, a CBC and analysis was $2.
$2.
So
All right.
each time we went, I paid cash. We don't have insurance. We'll just be
Yeah.
paying cash.
So, but still, I mean, what we would, from what I mean, what you would pay to, who was it? It was
Lady
somebody.
J said she's writing all this great information down. I'm glad we're helping you.
I don't remember. It was somebody who was selling us. Maybe they had a baby or something. I don't know who. It was something. It was something major, and like they pay like a couple $100s.
Yeah, because I don't remember how much they said they paid, but I do remember saying I didn't pay off my hospital visit from having Kelsey, I think it was, until she was 2, and that was
So-
with insurance.
So it's, I mean, it's ridiculously inexpensive. Yes, unheard of in the States. So, I mean, just what you would pay for the copay, okay, in the States, $25 or $50, $50 or $100, depending on your insurance or whatever. The copay is that's probably, 3 or 4 or 5 times more than what you would pay for the actual whatever you would pay here for the actual procedure or whatever. So yes, it's inexpensive. It was another question on there as well. Somebody asked. It was about the.
Yes, they have a military hospital. It is in Kanombe.
Yes, it was Sean asked something. I saw Sean on here. Oh no, he was the healthcare, and it was somebody else asked another question. I can't remember what it was. But yeah, so it's yeah, okay.
If there was a question that we missed, just put it back in the chat.
Put it
and
back
it'll
in
be
the
the most
chat.
recent so we can answer
Yeah.
it for you.
So yeah, but I mean, it is home. It is home, and we are. What we need to do, if you can, we have. You can email us at destinationwestafrica2022@gmail.com. Destinationwestafrica2022@gmail.com. You can put your questions there. If you send in your questions, then what we'll do is
Do a
we
video
can
and
do
just
a video
answer the
and we'll just answer questions. Because it's harder to sometimes it's harder to catch your questions as they come. But we can just spend a video where we can just ask, we can just answer your questions that you have sent in, and then in the process we can answer questions that come up on the screen as well.
Now, the military hospital, African Queen, I'm just assuming, I do not know, we'll have to check, but I'm assuming that that is their military. I don't know
Yeah.
if it applies to international military. I don't know. We can ask and find out. And I'm gonna put out. I am. I got it.
Destination West.
I got
Okay.
it.
Yeah, Destination West Africa 2022@gmail.com. Yes, I know my wife put Destination West Africa at Gmail in one of those. So it's not like a Virginia hospital, guys. Right? No, it's not like a VA hospital for us. For Americans, for foreigners. Yeah. So
I mean, it might be like a
right
VA, but for
for
them.
them exactly.
For
Yes.
for
Rhondas.
East Central Africans or just Rwandans. I'm not
Right.
sure.
Yes. Um. But yeah. So I think.
How is the weather today?
How was the weather today? The weather was beautiful. I mean, listen, it's, you may get a little bit, it may be a little bit
Or
cool
showered a
in the
little bit.
morning. I mean, yeah, you're gonna get a shower every day, because it's rainy season. It's gonna rain for, maybe 15, 20 minutes, if that, and then, you're gonna be fine. But the weather is beautiful. Listen, you may need a jacket for,
If you mean you need a heavy sweater, light coat, some days. I mean, it depends on how cold natured you are. I tend to get a little chilly. So I have, like
but that's
on
still
Friday
all,
evening
but
when
that's
we go to
still,
Vesper, under that, it's chilly. It's
I mean,
chilly.
no, I mean,
And because we're in rainy season, when it rains, it gets overcast, and it gets windy. The wind blows, pretty hard before it rains usually. Sometimes not, but a lot of times the temperature will drop and
it
it'll
drops.
rain, but not cold, cold. Like I said,
Right.
I'm trying to give that disclaimer that I'm cold natured generally. So it might drop to about 60 degrees. Um, and for me, that's chilly. So I need a light jacket, moderate to heavy sweater, just
So
to keep
that's
me cozy.
so that's yeah. So she's right. That's what you'll need. I mean, the most you'll need is, a light jacket. But other than that,
Yeah,
it's.
cold
I
natured.
mean, the weather. You can go out with a jacket on or a long sleeve shirt, and then, in the morning, but then by, you know mid morning, it's hot. It's hot.
Because I have gone out of the house. Okay, so here's another thing I learned. I noticed it. I thought about this Monday. I was in the house all day long. They use mud bricks. You can actually see on the sides of the road sometimes where they have used mud to build bricks and they're out drying. And I have read that the mud keeps the houses very, very cool. A lot of the homes don't have central heating and air. You'll find that in hotels and big, big businesses or what have you. But they have ventilation over the windows to let in the fresh air, and because it's cool in the morning, cool in the evening, the house stays a pretty decent temperature. And during the day it might get hot, especially if you're cooking in the kitchen, but you open the windows and let the fresh air come in, you get a
But
breeze.
it's not even really. It's
But
not even hot. I mean, it's
well,
still.
I get hot in the kitchen quite a bit. But I'm saying that to say, so I was in the house all day. I had on my long sleeve t-shirt because I was chilly because of the houses don't have, they're not sheetrock with insulation. It's literally mud bricks and they're cemented, and then they smooth out the cement and then they paint the walls. So you got hard walls, but it keeps the house really cool. So when my husband went to go pick up the children, I went with him. I got outside and I was roasted. I was like, I had no idea it was this hot out here.
That's
Oh my
because
goodness.
you wear a
I had a
long
scar
sleeve
because
shirt.
I had wore a long sleeve shirt because I was cold in the house. I was chilly in the house. I'm sitting there at the computer, teaching or whatever. I had the window open. I was getting a breeze. It was cool in here. It was chilly. Like if you take your socks off and you walk around, the floor is cold because it's cement. Everything
Yeah.
is cement. So it's
Yeah.
cool in the house. And that's why I say I was so surprised by how blazing it was outside. Oh my goodness. So yeah, it's right. In the middle of the day, it gets quite warm, and then the temperature will start dropping again about 5:30.
Yeah. But it doesn't get cold. It does not get
Well,
cold.
there was one night it was cold, cold. I had on my heavy, heavy sweater that night,
Yeah.
but it had rained a lot that day. There's another question on here. Yes, allergies. We have been struggling with allergies. My son, we first noticed about 2 months ago, maybe two and a half. He had a cough, but every year, maybe twice a year, he will
He
get a
gets
persistent dry cough. Nothing's coming up. He's just coughing all the time. Cough, 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 cough. And I hate it because I can't sleep when I'm concerned about him. So I have an essential oil diffuser. I put eucalyptus and peppermint in there. I even they have lots of essential oils around here. Many places where you can find 100% natural medicinal oils, lots of them, easy to find, which is a blessing. So there's a place I found that it's Icarezi. I'm gonna put it in here. That has essential oils, and they had one that was an expectorant that I dropped in the essential oil diffuser as well. But as I said, his was dry. And lately, I noticed in about 2 weeks ago,
He
dry,
doesn't have
itchy
asthma.
eyes. Not that we know of. We have not had him tested. That's I'm going to make an appointment with an ENT or a pneumologist and find out how to go about determining if he has asthma. But he's never had asthma attacks. He runs around all the time, energy like a bunny rabbit, and he never complains of difficulty breathing or shortness of breath or anything like that. However, our 14-year-old who plays basketball has complained that when she's in PE or when she's playing, that her chest gets tight sometimes, or her she said the other day that her nostrils felt kind of burning or what have you. So I'm gonna have to have her tested. But I think that it's because now I will say some
You
of the cars are older here, so the emissions, you get some of the black smoke and then the dust from the
so
roads
you're
that are
going to
not
get
paved.
those two, the dust
A
and
lot of it,
the
if
yeah, a
you're,
lot of dust.
unless you only driving around the city.
Right. If you're only in the city. And so you have to think about that, and also you have to think about, and we do think there is some allergies here because I've been having a cough as well. And I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. For I had it probably about a month or so ago, and then I went to the clinic. They told me what they told me it was basically be from the dust. They told me take some vitamin C, take some cough medicine, um, and took that, and it went away. And then several weeks later, it's back, and
Now,
it
mind you,
hasn't.
our children go to school, the girls go to school on a long dirt road. And when it's not raining,
It's just
the
dust.
dust just keeps, so
Yeah,
we have gotten in the habit of letting the windows up whenever we hit the
hit that
dirt
road
so
because
that the
it's
dust
yeah.
doesn't come. Because you can see it on the inside of the car, inside the windows, so you're inhaling all of that. Even we see people walking down that street
And
with
they have on
masks on,
mask on.
or they'll cover they're Muslims, and women wear scarves a lot here because, like I said, it's chilly in the morning. They'll cover their faces with their noses with the scarf because there's so much dirt kicking up. What you laughing at?
Laugh my butt off. I have hot flashes.
Yeah.
Yeah, or maybe wear a mask. Yeah.
Yeah, I've done that a couple of days because I would get a horrific tickle in my throat, and that would make me cough, 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 incessant. I mean, just nonstop cough. And when I smell the exhaust or I'm getting dust from the road, it makes it worse. So there were a few days when I'm driving around in the car that I did have my mask on. And they say now we're in rainy season. I had a friend that told us in dry season, when it goes several days and several weeks without raining,
And
it's
that's
much
when it's
worse.
really worse.
Another
So
thing is because it's raining season, things are blooming. So you've got the grass was growing like crazy. It's thick and the flowers are blooming. Things are getting pollinated. Weeds are growing, and there are different foliage in this region that your body is not. That's putting things in the atmosphere that your body's not used to. So make sure I said in that video, you remember, bring your Zyrtec or Claritin or whatever you're gonna.
yes, 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 yes. Bring that, and or go to Walmart, CVS, or whatever. Get you some the allergy medicine.
Or a nasal spray, Flonase.
When we came here, one of the expats put on a WhatsApp group. He asked about if somebody could, if one of us were coming, if somebody could bring some allergy medicine. And so I bought like 10, 15 different
Boxes of.
bottles of allergy medicine. Do they have it in Rwanda pharmacy? Yes, they have it, but it's not going. They have allergy stuff, but it's not going to be what you're accustomed to. And so, especially if you're coming to visit, my suggestion will be at least, bring what you are accustomed to. Even if you're coming to move, bring what you're accustomed to. So you can take that so your body can kind of get used to it, and then kind of switch over to
I'm
some of the
telling you,
local stuff.
because I didn't grow up having allergy issues. I have not been a person that had allergies. Now, my husband, I remember when we were dating, you seasonal allergies. You were accustomed to having some seasonal allergies. I didn't, and I grew up in Atlanta, the pollen capital of the world, and that's probably why. because I grew up there. But even if you don't, so even if you do not have problems with allergies, you guys hear us. It's not very expensive. So grab something, like I said, Claritin, Zyrtec, whatever, even the store brand, Equate if it's Walmart, or
Yeah.
CVS brand. Bring some allergy medicine. You might want to bring a
Just in
saline
case,
nasal spray.
you just never know.
Exactly, just so
Yeah.
you have it.
Because as a matter of fact, the individual that asked me to bring some when we were moving here, I mean, it was kind of he put on the group,
He was
you
desperate.
know, he was desperate. He needed for his wife, and so it was really bad, you know, for her. So that's
But
something
I
you got
think
to think
hers
about.
was, she said mosquito bites. They were scarring her. She was scratching so badly. She needed Benadryl for the antihistamine because she was getting mosquito bites.
I don't know, but he didn't ask for Benadryl. He asked for the Walmart stuff. So apparently that's what they were accustomed to using.
Yeah, I remember them saying that.
Yeah, but that's it. We've been talking
Talking
for
for a
over an
while.
hour. Uh, we
That's easy to do. We're
appreciate you
answering
guys.
questions, so
Yes, we appreciate you guys coming on, sticking with us, viewing, liking, sharing. We appreciate it. We will see you in the next video. And
good night. Good day or good night, good people.
all right, African Queen. Who else was on there? Lady
African
J.
Queen said maybe we need to try another part of Africa. We not trying to move no more. Unless we going back to my mama and my daddy.
But we appreciate you all watching, and we'll see you all in the next video. Take care.
Bye.